Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine you're lying in a hammock, somewhere deep, deep in the heart of the Amazon. The air is warm and thick with moisture. Above you, a canopy of 1,000 different shades of green filters the last golden light of the evening sun. You can hear the gentle patter of rain beginning to fall on the broad leaves above you, each drop creating a soft, rhythmic lullaby just for you. You are safe, you are warm, you are exactly where you need to be tonight. Welcome to Sleepy Brain Science. Tonight, we're not going to rush anywhere. We're not going to scroll or think or worry. Tonight, you're going to let me take you on a slow, gentle journey deep into the most magical place on Earth, a place where life breathes at its own quiet pace, a place the world calls the rainforest. So settle in, pull your blanket just a little closer, and let's begin. It always begins with rain. In the rainforest, rain is not an inconvenience. It is not something to run from or complain about. Rain here is the heartbeat of everything. It is the reason this place exists at all. And tonight, as you drift closer to sleep, imagine that very first drop of rain falling from a cloud high above the Amazon basin. It falls, slowly, tumbling through open sky for what feels like forever. Then it touches a leaf, a giant waxy green leaf the size of your arm, and it splits into 100 tiny droplets, scattering in every direction like little diamonds catching the fading light. Some of those droplets slide along the leaf's edge and fall again, landing on a branch below. Some are caught by a bromeliad, a small cup-shaped plant that grows on the bark of a tree, filling its tiny pool of water, which will become home to a family of tiny frogs before morning comes. And some droplets fall all the way down, past layer after layer of leaves and vines and moss-covered branches, past the shadowy forest floor where roots twist like sleeping serpents through the dark soil. And finally, those drops join a thin ribbon of water that winds quietly through the darkness, becoming part of a stream, becoming part of a river, becoming the great Amazon itself. All from a single raindrop. This is the rainforest, a place where even the smallest thing carries the whole world inside it. The smell after rain in a rainforest is unlike anything else on Earth. Scientists have a name for that rich, earthy fragrance that rises from the soil: petrichor. But in the rainforest, it isn't just petrichor. It is the smell of 10,000 plants exhaling at once. It is the smell of fungi waking up in the dark. It is the smell of ancient wood and wet bark, and something else, something you cannot quite name, something that feels somehow like the smell of life itself. Breathe it in. Even from where you lie tonight, imagine that smell reaching you. Cool, green, alive. High above the forest floor, far above where we've been, there is another world entirely. This is the canopy, the rooftop of the rainforest. Up here, the trees have been growing for longer than any of us can truly imagine. Some of these trees are hundreds of years old. Their trunks are so wide that 10 people holding hands could not wrap their arms around them. And at the very top, their branches spread outward like open hands, reaching for the sun. In the canopy, life is loud during the day. Parrots argue in bursts of red and green. Howler monkeys send their deep, rolling calls echoing across the treetops, a sound so powerful it can be heard for miles. Toucans sit on high branches, their oversized, improbable beaks gleaming orange and yellow against the blue sky. But now, as evening comes, the canopy begins to quiet down. One by one, the parrots find their sleeping hollows, little carved-out spaces in the bark of old trees, just big enough for one small feathered body to tuck itself inside. They ruffle their feathers, pull one leg up close to their belly, and close their bright eyes, safe for the night. The toucans do the same, tucking their long beaks behind their wings, becoming almost unrecognizable, just a small round shape on a branch, rocking very gently in the evening breeze. And the monkeys, the howler monkeys who were so loud just hours ago, they have found their favorite sleeping trees. They curl together in small family groups, arms and tails intertwined, their breathing slow and deep. A mother pulls her baby closer. The baby makes a tiny sound, soft, content, and then goes still. Even the canopy sleeps. Up here, the air is different from the forest floor. It is lighter, drier, warmer. The leaves shimmer, and on nights when the moon is full, the entire canopy glows, a silver-green sea of leaves stretching to every horizon, moving slowly in the wind, like the surface of some impossibly vast, impossibly quiet ocean. Imagine standing at the very top of one of those trees tonight. Imagine looking out across that silver sea. The world below is dark and soft and full of sleeping things, and above you, an entire sky of stars, more stars than you have ever seen, because out here there are no city lights, no street lamps, nothing between you and the universe. Just you and the stars and the slow breathing forest below. Now, let's go down from the canopy, down past the middle layers of the forest, where orchids bloom in impossible colors and vines hang like thick green curtains, down past the understory, where the light has always been dim, where ferns grow in great sweeping arcs, and the air is always cool and green and still. Down to the forest floor. Down here at night, the world is very different. It is dark, truly dark, the kind of dark that most of us have forgotten, the honest, total dark of a place where no artificial light has ever fallen. But this darkness is not empty. It is not silent. Listen. Frogs. Hundreds of them, each one singing in its own particular key, its own particular rhythm. There are poison dart frogs down here, tiny, jewel-bright creatures, no bigger than your thumbnail, dressed in colors of warning, electric blue, vivid orange, patterns of black and yellow. During the day, they glow like small living gems among the leaf litter, but now they sit quietly on their favorite mossy stones, eyes half closed, their small throats pulsing with sound. And there are larger frogs too, smooth, sleek glass frogs whose skin is so transparent that if you held one up to the light, you could see its tiny beating heart. These frogs sleep on the undersides of leaves above small streams, perfectly still, waiting for the morning. On the forest floor, the leaf litter is deep, a thick, soft carpet of fallen leaves layered year upon year upon year. And beneath this carpet, something extraordinary is happening. A slow, patient, ancient process of transformation. Fungi are breaking everything down, working quietly in the dark, returning everything that has fallen to the soil so that it can rise again as something new. There's a kind of comfort in that, don't you think? Nothing in the rainforest is ever truly lost. Everything that falls becomes something else. Everything that ends becomes a beginning. The leaf that drops from the canopy today will feed the roots of the very tree it fell from in time.
Somewhere out in that darkness, a jaguar is walking. She moves without sound, each enormous paw placed with impossible precision on the soft ground. Her spots are her camouflage and her identity all at once. No two jaguars have the same pattern, as individual as a fingerprint. She pauses at the edge of a stream. She looks down at the water. Her reflection looks back up at her, rippling slightly in the current. She drinks, slowly, deliberately, taking her time, as jaguars always do. Then she lifts her great head, her amber eyes scanning the darkness around her, without fear, because she has nothing to fear here. This forest is hers. She has known these paths since she was a cub, following her mother through the same shadows, learning the same streams and the same trails. She turns, and quietly, completely, she disappears back into the dark. In the heart of the Amazon, there is a river. Not a stream, not a creek. A river so wide that standing on one bank, you cannot see the other side. A river so full of life that scientists have counted more species of fish in its waters than exist in the entire Atlantic Ocean. Tonight, this river moves slowly. It is unhurried. It has been flowing through this valley for millions of years, and it has learned, the way all ancient things learn, that there is no reason to rush. The surface of the water is dark and still looking from above, but below it is full of quiet movement. Silver fish drift in slow schools, catching the moonlight that filters through the water's surface in long wavering beams. A river dolphin, pink-skinned, shy, mysterious, turns lazily in the deep current, its sonar sending invisible pulses into the dark water around it, painting the world in sound rather than light. River dolphins in the Amazon are gentle, curious creatures. The local people who live along the river have always told stories about them, calling them encantados, the enchanted ones. There are old stories that they come ashore at night in human form, drawn by the sound of music and laughter, and in the morning they slip back into the water, taking with them only dreams. Whether you believe old stories or not, there is something undeniably magical about a pink dolphin gliding through a black river under a sky full of stars. Along the riverbanks, the trees grow right to the water's edge and dip their roots into the slow current. In the wet season, when the rains are heaviest, the river rises 20, 30, 40 feet, flooding the forest for miles in every direction, creating a flooded forest where fish swim between tree trunks and river dolphins drift under the canopy itself. Imagine that. A forest underwater, fish looking up through the surface of the water at the ceiling of leaves above them, a world turned gently, quietly upside down. But tonight, the water is calm. Tonight, the river is at its most peaceful, dark and wide and endlessly patient, carrying the rainforest's secrets slowly,
slowly toward the sea. If you were lying in a canoe on that water right now, rocking very gently with the current, the stars above you reflected in the river's surface so that you seemed to be floating between two skies, you would be completely, perfectly still. The river would carry you. You wouldn't need to do anything. Just breathe, just be, just float.
The rainforest never truly sleeps. Even now, in the deepest part of the night, it is breathing. Every leaf is breathing. Every root is drinking. Every fungus is working. Every sleeping creature is dreaming in whatever way creatures dream. A sloth hangs from its branch. It has been there for 3 days, and it will stay for 3 more. Its long, curved claws hooked gently around the bark, its face wearing that permanent, peaceful half-smile. Sloths spend so much of their lives in stillness that algae grows in their fur, a faint green tint that helps them blend into the forest. They are living, breathing pieces of the tree they cling to. Somewhere in the canopy, a tiny pygmy marmoset, the world's smallest monkey, no bigger than a human hand, is curled into a ball in the hollow of a branch. It sleeps in a tight family cluster with 4 or 5 others, all of them tucked against each other for warmth. They will not move until the first light of morning. And high, high above the forest, so high that even the tallest trees cannot reach, clouds are forming. Tomorrow's rain is already gathering up there in the darkness. The rainforest itself pulls moisture up through its roots, through its leaves, and releases it into the sky, literally making its own rain, making its own weather. Breathing water into the sky the way you and I breathe air. The Amazon rainforest produces so much of the air we breathe and so much of the world's fresh water that people sometimes call it the lungs of the earth. And right now, those lungs are breathing slowly, in and out, in and out. You are safe tonight. You are warm tonight. Somewhere out there, a jaguar is resting on a low branch above a quiet stream. A river dolphin is tracing slow circles in a moonlit river. A sloth is dreaming sloth dreams in a canopy that goes on forever. And you are here, in this moment, in this breath. Let the rainforest hold you for a while. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything. The river will keep flowing. The rain will keep falling. The canopy will keep swaying in that slow, endless way it has swayed for millions of years. Everything is as it should be. You can rest now. Good night. From Sleepy Brain Science.